You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch!
Hi-yo.
Mitch.
What up, Mitch?
Orderly Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch.
What up, Mitch? Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
What up, Mitch?
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch, you cool, you
Hey, Mitch!
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch. Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Mitch.
On tonight's episode of Hey Mitch, I have Aaron Brigman on the show, creator of the hugely popular TV series Bern. You can now find it on Amazon Prime. Aaron, thank you for going on the show.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I'm pumped up, man.
How's it been? How's it been having a popular TV series on Amazon Prime? Like that's one of the premier streaming sites right there.
Absolutely, man. It's been wild. The ups, the downs, the backs and forths, right? The incessant ladies, right? No, I'm joking. Makes no sense whatsoever. No, in all honesty, it's been great. And just the pure shock of people even watching it, regardless of anything else, has been something else, man. I'm pumped up about it. I enjoy it.
So Bern, spelled Bern, is about a grandfather, but not so much grandfather age, but a grandfather by the name of Bern, and his grandson that helps solve crimes, but also deal in time travel. So, like, what do we... Like, give me the more detailed breakdown of this show.
I mean, honestly, you just nailed it. But yeah, okay, fair enough. We'll go with the first part and then move into the second part, right? So, Bern noticed he was he's a former military man, of course, right? And he excelled in his profession of being in the military, right? He was part of the 10-5-5-4-3. And now he's discharged. And he's 40 years old, right? So around, 2000, 1998, he's 20 years old. He gets out of the military. He goes to LA to become an actor, of course, right?
Of course.
Everyone wants the fame. You want the glory. It's a great story. It's a great time. And things kind of happen. They don't happen, whatever. He is who he is now. He's 40 years old. The Notice family in general reproduces very young, 10 years old on average, right? So when Bern was 10, he had a son named Jasper. When Jasper was 10, he had a son named Tug. Tug is Bern's grand son, and they have a good relationship, and they solve crimes. They try to solve crimes, and they consult for the local police department. So it's kind of like like a psych monk situation mixed in with the actual show Bern. Obviously, that's kind of where the whole thing in a way came from. So
got the whole consulting detective thing down and helping out whenever they can. I like it. 6 episodes on Amazon Prime. As it is, over 1 million minutes watched. Is that how the title goes?
Absolutely right. We're approaching. We're beyond that now, but yes, I mean, just the fact of it's been when I started making this, like, I kind of I thought of the name. I liked Bern, Michael Weston, right? Sam Axe, Fiona. the brother, his mother who smokes cigarettes. This is a great show, right? So like, what if someone like what if someone was named Bern Notice, right? Is that funny? I don't know. Might be.
Obviously is.
So, the show kind of came from that. So the whole idea, though, I mean, like initially I came up with like a 5-minute kind of short, and it was just me and my co-writer Brian and our buddy Pete, and we just did a little short, and it was funny, and then we did another thing and we submitted that to a film festival and so on and so forth. What I'm getting at is that the idea that this thing that we did even did 1 million minutes or whatever, you know what I mean? It's nuts, man. Like I'm very excited. I'm very pumped up about it.
I mean, you should be. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
This is an animated series, and so I wanted to ask, like, why animation instead of live action?
That, in all honesty, that's a great question, and I'll tell you why. Because number one, it's hard to get a group of people together in general, let alone them to not be paid to do so. You know what I mean? Like that's tough. So that's one, right? And number two is live action is they're both so tough. Animation's tedious and long and tough. Live action is tough in is hard in a completely different way. You need the people to show up. You need the people to be good. You need the people to be likable, right? Someone has to look at them, and just looking at someone, sometimes you're like, ugh. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't even care what he's got. So I think sometimes animation is easier in the way that, it's whatever the look is, maybe that it's more easy to take, or if does that make any sense?
No, that absolutely does make sense. And no, I didn't want to imply that it was a lesser thing to do animation or anything. I obviously it's a lot of work, and I just wanted to, go, when someone might have thought, let's just film something, and you decide let's go ahead and animate something, and it obviously puts a lot more on you because as I understand it, you also animated it yourself.
Yes. It's easier in a way to do that, the animation, because not that it's like ultimately easier. There's probably maybe 10, 20, 30 times more stuff you have to do, but you can do it at your leisure, right? I have an hour here, I have 2 hours here, or whatever, instead of trying to capture the whole thing in camera. So yeah, I put a lot, maybe more so on me, and then I don't know if we want to segue into this too quickly, but just the idea of doing the second season is like, not terrifying, but it's just like, oh my God. Not again. Oh my God. So it is a lot, but it's spread out more. Ultimately, if you make something you really want to do and you really like and you care about it and you want to make it good, I think it's going to take an amount of time that it's going to take.
Right. But
is it initially up front? Is it over the course of time? And obviously with live action, there's still editing and everything else. But with my schedule, I got everyone has stuff going on, but I got so much stuff going on. I just can't, no, that's
completely understandable. Now, you're also the voice actor in there. So did you animate the series first and then record the voices, or did you record the voices first and then animate?
So I'm still trying to figure this stuff out, right? No. So like generally what you would do, and you do the voices first, right? And then if this was like depending on what kind of production you're doing, people would kind of come up with like it's called an animatic, right? Which is basically keyframe poses of what's going to happen. So you're kind of editing the voice to the keyframes, and then typically in that type of situation, then they send it to like Korea. Like, that's not a joke. Like,
Right. No. A lot of animation is done in Korea.
so they send it over there, then it comes back, and I mean that's a big budget kind of stuff, right? But yeah, we do all the voice, like the script is written, then we do the voiceovers, and then I start animating to I don't do like an animatic. I have a rough storyboard, and that is in general a terrible idea because you end up redoing things, like getting the timing right. It's a whole thing. So I did the first season, like I wrote an episode. We did the voiceovers for an episode. I animated an episode. Okay, there's an episode. Second episode, record the voiceovers, animate, so on and so forth. This one, I wrote all 6 episodes first, and now I'm planning on doing all the voiceovers at like one time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why I would say, if that makes, of course it makes sense. That's exactly what you just said. What are you talking? So I wrote the whole thing. We're in the process of doing the voiceovers, and then I plan on spending the next, I don't know how many months, animating the entire season. So a little bit different of an approach, but man, yeah, just thinking about it. Yeah, I don't know.
When you first came up with the idea for Burn Notice, before you even started putting pen to paper, like, did you have a very distinct like plan of what it was, of where the points you wanted to hit, your ending for the first season?
Yeah. So not right away. No. The first season was, I don't know how to really. So like I said, I did this first little, I don't even know if you would call it a pilot. It was just an idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had recorded this, and no one's seen this thing. But it seemed like there were some good ideas, and there was some, maybe there was something there, right? So I came up with the initial first episode that there is now, even though that first episode was way different than what you can see. And we were kind of, like going over it and whatever. And then I was like, okay, let's do another episode. And the idea for the second, the idea for the show was I was going to kill everyone. Like I was going to like every episode, like 5 people were going to die. Just cause it seems cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that seems cool to anyone else, but to me, it just seems like it's not that people are dying, but just like some shitty animated show where it's like shitty. I don't know. Can we swear? I'm sorry.
Oh yes. Yeah. Go right ahead.
Okay, yeah.
No problem.
So just the idea of like just like terrible animation of people dying is very funny to me. So it's like, okay, I'm going to kill everyone. But then I had this is all like friends and favors, right? So the people who did the first episode, it's like, man, they're like actually pretty good. So then it's like how many people do you really know?
Yeah,
that
right.
that
will be there in a drop of a hat to help you out.
Exactly. So it's like, so you're gonna kill all the people that will, like, that doesn't make any sense. So so then I was like, okay, well maybe this is more like a serial type show. I've done some Googling. I think I'm right. I might be wrong. Bear with me if I am not. But a serial show is like a Lost, a Breaking Bad type thing where
right.
Each episode picks off of the one before. Mm-hmm. An episodic is like a Family Guy or something like that.
Or a procedural, like, Law and Order, like where every episode is by itself.
Exactly. Yes. self-contained, right? So that was kind of the initial idea. And then after I did that first episode, I did air quotes that, but the first episode, I was like, man, this like maybe. So then the idea started shifting there. And that's really like, there was, do you think it really matters? I mean, I don't know how many spoilers there are. I'm ready to just say everything. You know what I mean? Like,
we want people that haven't watched it yet to go watch it. So try not to spoil too much. But I mean, you want to get into the nitty gritty about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's one big thing like at the end, but I don't think this is a huge spoiler. Like, so me and Brian, once again, helped me write this thing. And one day we were having a conversation about Devon Sawa and how great he is. I love Devon Sawa. I really do, man. Are you a fan?
I'm a fan. SLC Punk,
yes.
Idle
Yes.
Hands, good stuff. I'm a big fan of Devon Sawa. I was thinking of Little Giants the other day too. Which
yes.
Yeah, he's the quarterback, right?
Is he the badass who comes in with the mini bike?
Or is it Jeremy,
I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have got into that. Maybe that was too much.
It's okay.
But dude, he's great. He really is. So it's just like how, and it's like, what is he doing? Nothing. I'm sure he's doing something. It's like, what is he doing? Right. So it was like the initial idea was he was going to be like a hitman, Jonald Hitman.
That's right.
Like a hitman. And then it kind of like morphed into like, no, he should be like the antagonist of this show, dude. That's so great. So to me and Brian and other people, that's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it gets better, dude. This show's amazing. So so then it kind of started morphing from there. We kept some characters throughout the show. We did some character building. We tried to create a story, which I feel good about. And we're going to continue that into the second season. And I'm so sorry about how terrible I am at explaining stuff. So I just want to say that.
I think you're doing a great job.
Okay, fair enough.
No need to apologize. So what was the timeline? The timeline for creating the show? Once you did put the pen to paper, how long from that point to its airing first episode on Amazon Prime?
Okay, so it was roughly a year and a half, probably. Yeah. So we released it in late last year, like the end of the year last year. And then so that was 2020. The whole thing that I don't even like saying pandemic. I don't even like saying those words just because of whatever. But it was the summer before that is when we started. So that was like 19. Yeah, it was like June of 2019, I believe. That had to have been it. And then till basically of almost December of 2020. So that's like a year and a half. Yeah. Nailed it. Dude. Right? That's not bad.
No, that you were right on the money. Any huge hiccups or obstacles you weren't planning on to get it onto getting into people's homes, getting people to see it?
Yeah. Just I wasn't sure what we were gonna do with it. So we had made this first episode, the first episode that was willing to be shown to people. We had submitted that to several film festivals. It got into a decent amount, and it's like, okay, well, this isn't bad, right? Like, so that's cool.
The artwork on the IMDb page shows that it won quite a bit of awards.
Yes. Well, to be fair, I think those are just, they call them laurels when you get accepted to a film festival. So I like the way you said it though. But no, those were like we might be missing a couple, but those were like the film festivals that I'd gotten into, and which also was kind of a bummer though too. And I'm not gonna, things happen in the world, right? The pandemic. I'm not getting into that, but the bummer for me, beyond tons of people dying and all this stuff that whatever. But that's so messed up. I'm joking. It's a joke. The real bummer was like it got into all these film festivals. Of course, it was 2020, so like they were all turned into like online festivals,
right?
And stuff like that. But I'm sorry if anyone took that or whatever. I mean, it clearly was a joke, right?
Right. No, I think you've set a precedent on what your humor is, so I think it's definitely acceptable.
Fair enough.
Yes, it would be a bummer that more people didn't get to see your project, but you did eventually land on Prime Video, so
yes,
you're getting all the eyes.
Yes. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And then just to get so yeah, the film festival is like, okay, so what should we do from here? And then a distribution company, like what do you do with stuff like that? And maybe people are listening that want to know. Do you think that's applicable?
I definitely do, because that's exactly what I like to get into on this show.
Absolutely. Cool. So things were going well, and it's like, okay, so what do you do? What you put it on YouTube? I said it like a jerk, but whatever. And YouTube's great, and I'll get into that very soon, maybe. But you could try to go to a distribution company. You could get on, you could try to get on Netflix. Obviously is like kind of out of the box for like a lot of things. So if anyone's listening who wants to know about that, that's like something, if you're hearing me talk about this, it's not for you. Just because it's like so much to even get into something like that. But there's streaming services, Amazon Prime, iTunes, I think Xbox has one. And then there's like other ones, that have like advertisements paid, like Crackle or Tubi TV.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many, right? And you can so what I wanted to do, and when you get into a distribution company, you have to sign a contract, right? In the way of, you don't just, they're licensing, hopefully in the best circumstances, they're licensing your product. But so depending on what the agreement might be, it might be like, okay, we're taking this for a year, you get X% of it, and maybe you can't go anywhere else with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or so on and so forth. With Amazon Prime, it's basically a submission process. So they review your content, there's checks and balances, and they're really coming down on like a lot of the criteria lately. Like they stopped supporting short films. They were allowing short films for a long time. No more of that. No more nonfiction documentaries, because I'm sure they're just overwhelmed with these products, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So fortunately, they're still accepting what we're doing, and
so would you have to categorize your show as?
Well, it's an animation fiction series.
Okay.
So I guess but like so there's different things, like I mean, there's a quality process. There's and then if that gets accepted, it gets into like subtitles and like captions and the other things you need to have that on there. But we were fortunate enough to get approved, and And I thank them for that, I guess, right? I mean, that's
Right.
pretty cool. So that's why I wanted to do that, because it just has more of a cachet than just putting it on YouTube. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I think we're going to be putting an episode on YouTube. I actually, just to kind of get people who don't have, and also too with Amazon Prime, as big as it is, and it is huge, right? It's still limited in a way, because if you have social media, Instagram, and obviously that's social media, but you get people from Australia, you get people from, the Netherlands, you get people from whatever, South America. Those territories don't apply to this Amazon Prime Direct deal.
Oh.
So Amazon Prime Direct, you can only do the US and the UK. So you have 2 territories, which is huge. It really, like, by no means is that like,
small potatoes. It's not.
No,
it's you're probably
that's
the 2 hugest consuming
exactly.
areas in the globe.
It's huge. So you can't, like, whatever. Yeah, it's huge. But you do acquire fans from different continents and stuff who want to see the things you're doing. So we're gonna start to, I think, especially with us working on the new season and it doing what it did on Amazon Prime, we're gonna start putting some of the episodes on YouTube. Maybe we'll link it through our website or something. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to start doing that.
So this isn't your first project. You have, according to your IMDb, and unfortunately I haven't seen them, but Squirts, the Talking Pink Eye, and Closed Case Robin.
Yeah.
So what are these projects?
Okay. Squirts, the Talking Pink Eye was like the first animation thing I think I, for the most part, ever did. Aside from me doing it, that was stop motion. Squirts, the Talking Pink Eye is a stop motion short animation film, because it's classy.
There you go.
So I did that in 2014, I believe. And I started doing these things, just getting into this whole thing of making sketches and putting them on the internet. I was recording music a while ago. I mean, I'm 36 now, right? And I started, I was doing music like when I was 19, 20 years old. Mm-hmm. Through when I was like, I don't know, 26, and I would record these bands, and a lot of these bands would be like these people in the bands, like at least one of them was kind of funny or something, right? And then I was like, okay, so I developed, me and one of the guys, his name was Lucas, and we started making sketches, and we made a sketch and we put it on Funny or Die, and it did very well. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, right? I mean, this was in 2000 and let's say 11, something like that. And I was like, okay, that's not bad. Like, so we made a couple more. And then me and Lucas, we came up with this Squirts, the Talking Pink Eye. Much like Bern, we made like a little short kind of for ourselves. Then we made like a 10-minute kind of thing. We submitted to the Wisconsin Film Festival. That's where I live, by the way, Wisconsin. It's not bad up here. The weather's great all the time. So we made this little thing. We submitted to this film festival guide, and it's like, oh, that's not bad. That's pretty cool. So it was kind of like, what else can you do? What else, so the building up, and then we did some like a live action thing. I had another buddy of mine help me with another short, and once again got into a couple film festivals. Built up, and then Burn Notice kind of came like, am I going so far off? I'm sorry.
No, you're great. You're doing great. This is all the stuff that I love to hear about. So I'm glad that you're going over it.
Sweet. So the things we're building up, I think I'm on the path of what you asked.
Yes.
Right? Like I'm not straying too Burnos kind of came up because it was like, okay, so these things happened in the past. They were decent, right? Maybe I could do a feature film. That's what I thought in my head. That's how insane I am in you know what I mean? Like what kind of
no, it definitely doesn't sound insane to me. Like you're doing it. You're killing it. You're doing the work. Like, yes, take the next step.
The next step. I'm gonna make a feature film, dude. And then it's just like, that's, like, so like that was like, I think that's led into why Burn Notice is the type of cartoon it's supposed to be, in the way that it's not like, it's almost kind of like a half of a movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like that was the idea. Like maybe I could try to make a story. Maybe I could try to make a story. You know what I mean? Like that was the goal of this, and I feel good about it. And the problem with it, and that's why I feel the need to make the second season, is because that is only half of the story. There is a second half of it, so that's why I feel that's why I'm compelled, man. Right, to make this these next 6 episodes, even though I'm not pumped up at all. No, I am I am pumped up, but they need to be made. I'm like I've learned so much doing those first, like, even after the first 2, like I did the first episode, the first real episode, then the second episode. I'm like, man, the second episode is so great. First episode sucks, and then I did the third one, and it's like, man. So then I went back and started messing with the first. Like I was like Steven Spielberg, like messing with episodes, and I stand behind them, but I know the little faults that I've ran into, maybe,
and
in my head.
Hopefully that will only help you cut down the time for getting the second one done out.
Yeah, I'm hoping, man. That's that's the plan, honestly. But we'll see what happens. I'm pumped up, man.
So
I am.
You said that 10, 14 years ago you were doing music. Now, is filmmaking always been the goal for you, or was it more like you just been a creator and this is the newest outlet for you?
Man, dude, you're gonna like, here's another 20-minute story. Like, if you you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but I started making like a podcast for myself.
And
it's called it's called Hey, It's My Manifesto. Just joking, it's my podcast.
That's a good name.
So, because me and my wife, we were watching the Unabomber stuff, right? And this guy, and I can't say too much because people won't understand. Obviously, he's insane. You have to preface everything with, this guy's a lunatic. That's everything. He's insane. So we're watching this guy, and it's like, manifesto, man. I should write a manifesto. And my wife says, you wrote one. It's called Burn Notice. And I'm like, fair enough. You know what? That makes sense. But with what you said, have you ever, the music and everything else, I was always into comedy I like funny stuff, right? From a very young age. I'm gonna wrap this up. This isn't gonna be too long. Okay. Set your stopwatches, guys. Give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna do mine. 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes here. I don't want to make this too long.
Okay.
Here we go.
We're synchronizing.
Synchronizing. Here we go. So, very pumped up from a young age. I always, there's funny people in my family, so on and so forth, whatever. I got to be in about 7th grade, and I had these burnout friends. They would like smoke cigarettes in like 7th grade. That's insane to me. Like, I
bet they have great voices now.
Yeah, no kidding. like it's insane. Like, and then I think they were even smoking weed, and apparently everyone smokes weed when you're in 7th grade. I didn't get it, dude. I didn't start smoking weed till very, very long time later. But I said, like, so these guys would hang out with me. So they were like burnouts, but they were also like cool burnouts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the James Franco Freaks and Geeks burnouts or something.
There you go.
Yeah. So like, and then this one day in tech ed, Mike Austin. Yeah, I'm saying names. I'm naming names. I said something like offhand, maybe about Pauly Shore. I don't even remember. And I don't remember that, but this is what I do remember. He turns to me and says, you know, the only reason we even hang out with you is because you're funny. and, and like, how fucked up is, you know what I mean? Like,
That's yeah. I mean, it's like one of those backhanded compliments. Like, you're funny, but if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be around.
Exactly. So like, honestly, I swear, up until that point, that's basically the only time anyone like, I didn't even know I was funny. I would say things, people would laugh, and it was just like, I don't know, people, you know what I mean? Like, no one's quantified that result for me before. And then in that way, it really stuck with me. It really did, man. That kind of fucked me up for a while. So then the next year, my grandfather got me a guitar, like an electric guitar, like a shitty electric guitar with like the speaker in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, I'm a badass. You know you know what I mean? Like, dude, I'm a rocker, man. Like, I listen to Green Day. Like, like, I know what's up. So for a long time, it kind of propelled me in the musical direction up until once again, when I started hanging out with these musical guys. And it's like, I don't even care about me. Like, I was, I'm good enough at it, but it's like, I like funny stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, I like that idea of it, and that's what kind of turned me back to that experience. I don't know, like, I hope that's enlightening for somebody.
That does. No, I mean, I honestly, I was gonna say, I thought maybe that story was gonna go, I was playing in this band and they turned to me and they said, if it wasn't for the fact that you're funny, you wouldn't be in the band. And I was like, oh, that's mean. But no, like, creative people obviously need creative outlets. I like it. So
oh man, how great would that be? I'm taking that for my memoirs. No, I'm just joking.
You know what? It's yours. You take it.
No. Are you a musician? You play music?
I do not. I've never been. I consider myself something of a singer, like, but I've never like focused on it. So like that's about as far as my musical talents go.
Fair enough.
So
I can tell by the way you're being modest about it. You can carry a tune, I bet. You can do some karaoke for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's about as far as I go nowadays.
Yeah.
So working on season 2 and part of your creative process, do you need to find a secluded area? Do you need complete silence when you're writing, when you're figuring it out, or do you go to a coffee shop and sit there in the middle of the hustle and bustle? Like, what's your environment when you need to sit down and create?
It's a little of both. I have a 2-year-old daughter, right? So I usually bring her to a coffee shop and just have her go nuts, and that actually gets me like, when I see everyone else freaking out about it, I'm just like, okay, now I can create. Like, the panic of everyone else having to deal with this nightmare of a human being is like, okay, now I can understand life for a second. In all honesty, right? I don't know how, I would assume it's a little different for everyone. So I think about most of the stuff, as the days go on, and when I actually start writing it, for the most part, I know kind of what I'm going. I at least know the idea where I'm going, and then once I commit to, I'm sitting down and I'm typing, then I'm kind of like, okay, I like it when it feels. This is so lame, and I know how lame it sounds. When it feels good, like when I don't have to think about it, like it's like the words just come out of me into my fingers, and it's like it can really be like that. Trust me, I know that's very lame to say, but you think about these ideas as days go on, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then you kind of get into it, and then because I kind of, created all these characters, it's like I kind of start talking in their voices in my head, and I start living the scenes, so to speak. It's so silly to talk. It makes me laugh. Like but yeah, so it's not, is that good? How?
No, that's great. I love it.
Good. Awesome. I'm pumped up. Yeah, man. You're breaking, dude. You're like the Howard Stern of a Zoom, man. Like, you're cracking me, man. getting the bottom of all this. What's your background? What do you like? Let me ask you a question or two.
Go right ahead.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so one-sided here. Give me a little background on yourself. Just sum it up. I'm gonna time you. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, a little bit about me. My 5 years ago, I started this podcast network with my friends.
I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a minute. All
I
right,
appreciate that. We started off with like 3 shows. Most of them have moved on with their lives. They've got other things, but I've seemed to have made this podcast network grow into quite the little juggernaut that it is. At least that's how I like to think about it. And I still hold down a 9 to 5, during the day, and the struggles, between balancing the two things are quite a bit. Like everybody goes through this that wants to be creative. I understand. So that's essentially where I'm at right now. That's my background right now. We're getting married in October, and
oh yeah,
yeah.
Congratulations, man. Are you joking?
No, I'm serious. And
awesome.
It's something that I never thought was at the age of 39.
Don't do it. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, just at the age of 39, I didn't think it was actually ever really going to happen for me. But then I found someone that genuinely loves me, so I'm happy that this is going to happen.
Nice, man. Nice. Outstanding. This is fantastic. This is great news. I'm pumped up. So where are you going to have it? What are you going to do? What's the plans? What color balloons? What kind of cake? Is it going to be a Dutch layer cake, or like a double chocolate ganache, cupcakes? What are you going to do? How many people? Am I invited? What's going on?
I mean, you want to show up? I'm going to have a beer for you right there. You have a drink. It's in Scottsdale. I live in Yuma, but we are having it in Scottsdale. Our colors are purple and copper. And
look at you, and you got them too.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Uh-huh. And we're not having a big cake because neither one of us really enjoys cake. So we're having a big dessert bar for people to pick what they want. And you can hear about all these things on our wedding podcast that we have.
Oh, no kidding! I'm cutting
Friday.
into your wedding podcast.
No. You're completely good. It lets me cross promote other shows.
Absolutely.
Not too many people turn the questions on me, so that was a nice little experience. Thank you, Aaron.
You have to, man. Like, you got to do it. You got to do it. No, but congratulations, absolutely, man.
So what is it when you get your free time that you get to sit down, relax? I understand you got a 2-year-old, so there's not a lot of free time. But when you get to geek out about something, what is it you're doing? Are you reading a book? Are you playing a video game? Are you watching a movie?
Yes. Here's what I've been doing recently. I have a bunch of these habits of what you call geeks. And they shift. They're always shifting, and they're coming in handy. Years ago, I was a figure collector, but very specific. Only 10 back, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Ghostbusters, Turtles, Back to the Future things. And that's basically it. So I collected a bunch of that stuff. Why is that useful? Because now my new geek habit just recently is I am about MacBooks, dude. Like, I don't know if anyone's into MacBooks. It's so lame. And I can't stop watching these videos. There's all these nerds talking about MacBooks, and I can't get enough of it because I want to buy a MacBook. Like, I've been on Windows forever. I love Windows. I have no problem with it. But, you know, I can't buy a MacBook. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
I mean, as I understand it, and I might not understand it well because I'm not really in the industry, but in the entertainment industry, the MacBook is pretty much the standard. Like, everybody uses it.
It so depends on who you talk to and whatever else. When I went to school I had a technical degree in music, by the way. And at that time, once again, this was in like 2004. So no kidding, right? I look great. So in 2004, like, yes, MacBooks, like, it was Mac, everything's Mac, right? And there was still your holdouts. Everyone's going to have their sides. And I obviously kept with PC because it's just cheaper. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it just is. And it got to the point as years went on that not only is it cheaper, it can be better. You can customize. You can do everything you need. You can upgrade. And that still is the case. And maybe will be. So I don't want to get into a whole thing about the M1 Mac, because I've watched too many videos on these things. But I customized a PC, and I use that for my video editing. I do that for work, and I do still some audio recording and things like that. But I'm 36 years old, and it's like I'm seeing these. I mean, like, a MacBook. I don't know. I don't care who you are. You look at a MacBook and just something about it. I don't know, man. Like, it's just like, can I just try it? Like, can I just see what it's about? You know? So I bought a 2017 MacBook on Amazon, and then I'm watching videos, and it's like, oh, this laptop sucks because of the keyboard. So I returned that. I bought a 2018 MacBook, and it's like, oh, well, it's got this little membrane in between the keys. It still might suck. You got to get an M1. So now I'm just doing this loop of buying MacBooks used on Amazon and returning them. It's such a waste of time. And so, I mean, that's pretty, like, I don't know how much more nerdy you can get of just watching YouTube videos about MacBooks, buying them and returning them. So that's pretty good.
I mean, that seems like a good one. I mean, as long as they're taking it back for the full price that you paid for it, it's not expensive.
Dude, so, like, here's where we're at right now. I think that's happening. So I might, like, we could do an update in a couple of weeks if you want, just a little segment, like, and maybe I get effed over. But the one they're taking back, I got another one coming tomorrow. and I'm like, I don't even, because it's a 2018. Then I joined these Facebook group. I saw that's my Sebastian Maniscalco. Then I joined these Facebook groups. I don't know. It's a like, so I'm on these Facebook groups of MacBooks, and it's just like all these nerds, and it's like I hate them, but it's also like I do want to hear what they have to say. And it's like, who do you think you are? You're not a nerd. You're I have this arrogance in myself where I think I'm not, you know, I'm Ferris Bueller in my mind. You know what I mean? I'm not Cameron. Cameron's a nerd. That's not me.
We all like to believe that we're Ferris Bueller of our lives, so it's understandable. I'm glad that you started off the geek talk with saying stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Ghostbusters, because this whole time, talking to you on video, there is a proton pack hanging behind you, and I just have to say that's freaking awesome,
dude. Okay, yeah, I guess another thing. I see. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I forget about. I have all these hobbies that, to me, these aren't geeky nerd things, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is real life. I have a wall behind me that has it's one proton pack. Beside that is my official Ghostbuster jacket. Besides that is a Ghostbuster sweatshirt for my daughter. Besides that is a lightsaber, and then besides that is a camera bag, and below that is a custom proton pack that I've been building myself for the last 3 years, which you may or may not be able to see. But that's not lame, though. Like, don't make me feel like that's cool.
I never said that was lame. That is awesome. I am all about that.
And then GameStop was having this awesome sale on the Spengler Neutrona ones, and they were like $65 or something. And then I went in there. Of course, I had to get one. And I walk in there, and I'm walking around and I'm looking at these people, and they're like a bunch of I'm like, look at these nerds. I walk into this place, look at these nerds playing their video games. What is this, GTA 3? I have distaste. I'm sickened to death by looking at these nerds in GameStop. And then I'm just kind of waiting to find this new, you know what I mean? I'm like, where's the Ghostbusters stuff? It's so ridiculous the way.
It's okay. You're a self-hating geek. It's understandable.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what it was. And then the best part is, here's the best part. When I saw it, it was sitting by the cash register, and I acted as if I just it was totally aloof. The cat. And the worst part, it was two girls working there, right? So I mean, I don't know about you, but I was expecting to see two dudes, whatever. And then it's these two girls. I'm like, oh, this already throws off my whole thing. What do I, not like I'm trying to bang them, but I don't know. It was just how did this happen? This is supposed to be a sanctuary. So I walk in, and then they're working. So then it's so I walk, I see it. I spot eyes. I connect eyes with this wand, right? I walk up to the cash register as if I was going to talk about something else. And then I say, oh, hey, what's this about? And then they're like, oh yeah, that's for sale, duh. And I'm like, oh sweet, yeah, I guess I'll take it, right?
As so if that wasn't the thing you came in there for.
Yeah, exactly. So then they ring it up, and here's the best part: it's $100 new, and I was going in my head out I would have normally probably asked this is on sale, right? But I didn't say. I was just okay, you know what? It's on sale. It's not. Either way, you like the product. You're gonna buy it no matter what. Just buy it. So then she says, because I knew about the sale because of the Facebook groups I'm on. So then she rings it up and she says, oh, actually, this is on sale for 30%. It's only $69.99 or whatever. And I said, oh, no, that's insane. No kidding. Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, here's my I knew it. You know what I mean?
Just trying to hide it. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's so I don't know. But honestly, great, because Mattel has a different one, and it's I don't even know, $700. And I haven't used that one, but this one's great, dude. It has multiple functions. And my daughter wants to play with it, but it's dude, you're two. This isn't a kid's toy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You don't get to play with daddy's toys.
Exactly. And I think that's it. Do you want to go into nerd farther? Should we do this?
Let's do it.
The new Ghostbusters movie, which everyone, oh my God, Afterlife, it looks so great. And it does look great. Of course it does. It's a new movie, and it costs how much money? I would expect it to look good. My problem, and don't get me, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna support it. Right? I like the movie before this, the one everyone shit talks with.
I like that movie.
I do. I thought it was funny, man. I don't understand the problem. And my nieces like Ghostbusters now because of that movie. So what's the problem? But my problem with the new one, and here's the only problem, is because, as you know, a proton pack is not a toy. It's for adults. It's heavy.
Yes.
It weighs things. You can't just run around in a field as a 12-year-old girl, or maybe you can. Maybe she's super strong. Maybe she's got powers I'm unaware of, you know? But the point is, it's just so what happened? So you remember who wasn't Arsenio Hall in is it the second Ghostbusters movie? Hey, get me one of those proton packs. Oh man, it's not for kids.
It's not a toy. That's right.
It's not a toy. But now it is. That's my problem. And it's not that she's a girl. It really isn't. It's that she's young.
She's a child.
A girl. And a girl. I'm just joking. Only you gotta do that now. It's funny. But it's not that she's a girl. It's that she's young. It's that she's a child. She can just handle a compact nuclear accelerator on her back. right? Or
I mean, that seems like irresponsible parenting if you're just letting your child walk around with a nuclear reactor on their back.
no, it seems like irresponsible writing to me. And this whole idea of Bill Murray, don't get me. And you didn't even say anything. I could go on forever on this. Let's not. You're right. You didn't say anything. Let's not. Let's move forward.
Well, let me ask you this. What was the biggest obstacle or unexpected surprise that you had in making the whole thing?
Oh boy. The biggest obstacle was just trying to complete the thing and trying to make it as good as if you're somebody who makes something and you like doing it, you know, there's probably a chance that you're maybe never 100% happy with it, right? Like, you know, so just trying to get to a point where it's like, okay, I get, like, that's done now. So that's the biggest obstacle. Trey Parker from South Park, they did this documentary years ago or something, but he said something very cool. It was like, I'm paraphrasing. It was like, how many hours do you spend versus how much percentage does that make it better? Do you spend another 20 hours on something to make it 1% better? You know what? Like that's kind of the obstacle. Like, where do you stop? Like, is it done? Like, I could spend another week on this. Is it going to make it 2%? You know, like, yeah. So that's the biggest obstacle.
I get that. I get that a lot. All right. If you could have one useless superpower and it has to be completely useless, what would your superpower be?
I think my superpower would be just to ask why. And you could take that as like, maybe he's curious. No, it's to be annoying and useless.
I think you've been spending too much time with your 2-year-old.
Yeah. Why? It doesn't matter. Just do it. Just to mess up the whole flow of whatever's happening. I mean, that's pretty useless, right? Why?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a very achievable superpower. Like we're not talking about endless years of training or building an exosuit for you to go flying around in. This is literally just using your brain to be like, why? And stopping someone in their tracks.
I think it could be harder than sometimes things seem really easy, but they're hard when you actually have to do them. And I have a story if you care.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I'm in a class. I'm taking classes. I'm taking a class, right? And I have a teacher, and they say, hey, we're going to do this little experiment. We're going to split you into groups. This group, you tell this person a story for 3 minutes, and you evaluate how they listen to you. And of course, there's a rub, right? So then he takes the other people outside of the class, which was me, part of the group, and he says to us, hey, this is 3 minutes. The first minute you pay attention. The second minute you do not. You go on your phone. You don't make eye contact. You do whatever. Then the third minute, then you listen again. All right, break, like a football huddle. All right, go. So you go back to the class, right? Easy enough. It's not like, here's the thing. I can be an asshole, but it's got to be on my terms. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I can't just. And how obvious is it that okay, 1 minute, and he's counting off the minutes. 1 minute, so you're listening to this person tell the story. All right, 2 minutes, and then everyone goes on their phone. Like that's not
natural.
It's not. It's like it's not a good experiment. Like, so like I couldn't do it. Like I was just like, this is because I could see the person next to me doing the thing, and it's just like, this is going to seem ridiculous. What I'm getting at is, sometimes easy things like saying why might be a little harder then they appear. And that's Aaron's thoughts for today. No, I'm just,
I like it. It's a new segment. Aaron's thoughts. What's the one piece of advice that you would give to someone that's also coming up trying to do this, or what's the one best piece of advice that you've gotten in making Burn Notice?
I'll go with the first one because I've gotten this question from several people, and my number one piece of advice is to usually it's a film festival type. Hey, I'm making a film or something. I want to submit it to film festivals. Do you have any advice? My number one piece of advice is to obviously do the best you can do on it, right? And then just leave it alone. Leave it alone for like at least a couple weeks, maybe a month, and then come back to it with like fresh eyes and ears. And I'm sure everyone's heard that, but I'm telling you, it's hard to like just leave something alone for a little bit, but that's the best thing you can do, because when you come back to it, you're probably going to see things a little differently, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number one piece of advice, just to give it a little time to breathe. And I think someone actually gave me that advice. I think it might've been a fellow named Keith Cooper. So I think that just answered two questions right there, man. We're cruising through these.
There you go. I love it. Oh, I mean I've kept you here for an hour now, so I want to go ahead and say thank you once again for coming on the show and talking about Burn Notice, and I want everybody to go out and watch it if they can. You want to give out any social media or where else they can find out more about Burn Notice other than Prime Video?
Yeah, go to like social medias in general. It's Burn Notice Show, BERNNOTICE show, at Burn Notice Show, Facebook, Instagram. I think we have a Twitter. I don't really think we use it. And then lastTakeMedia.com. Everything's going to be linked through there. We're going to be releasing some episodes on there. So like if you don't have Prime, you can watch them on there. And that's, I believe it.
There you go. I like that. LastTakeMedia.com to get to all the social medias.
Yes.
If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can find me on Twitter. I am at Mitchipedia GEM. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. The rest of Geek Elite Media is at Geek Elite Media on Twitter, at Geek Elite Media on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Geek Elite Media is our Facebook page. Check out archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our website, geekelitemedia.com. If you listen to this on a podcatcher, please rate and review us. It helps spread the word of our network. But until next time, this is Hey Mitch on the Geek Elite Media Network saying always remember to
geek out. Oh, we didn't. Do you want to cut it again?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
This concludes our broadcast. Beep.